into here. So midday, for those of you who've never done it before, we're going to do a brief little warm-up just to get the body going. Then we're going to do some vein tendon Qigong. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I will guide you through it. And then we're going to do some grinding exercises. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I will guide you through it. Feel free to slide on over, Rafa. Yep. And then we are going to do some chien. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I will guide you through it. For the rest of you, you'll do some chien, and then we're going to go up to the gym, do a circuit in the gym of classic Kung Fu training, conditioning, strength building. Again, I'll explain it to you if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about. We'll come back down here, do some more conditioning, do a little circuit, and then we'll get into pushy hands and sticky hands, okay? So there's quite a bit to cover. Do your best. Just give it your all. Thank you for joining us online. We appreciate your energy. We'd appreciate it more if you came and practiced with us. But here we go. Let's start. Just to warm up, some jumping jacks. Get the body warm. And a little jogging in place. Now get those knees up nice and high. And now keep the knees up and go to your left. And now go to your right. Keep them up there. Keep them up there. Back to your left. Back to the right. In place. Here we go. Nice and high. A little bit faster. A little bit faster. All right. Now bring the legs out kind of wide. And we're going to do Cossack squats. Cossack. So you're going to come to one side. Try to keep the back as vertical as possible. No need to do this. If you have to only go to here, this would be better than this. Right? Try to sink the butt. Keep the back. You can open the foot if that's easier. There you go. Open it up. Build some strength. And come on up. Now let's do some monkey squats. If you're not familiar, feet parallel. Open up your left foot. Drop your right knee. So it's totally okay to do this in the beginning. Eventually you want to get to this, where you can have the ankle flat and the knee and your hips somewhat forward. If you're like this, that's okay. If you're like this, it's okay. Just know this is where you want to go, right? Now come up, close that left foot, open that right, drop the left knee. Right, and really try to let that hip open up. A lot of this is just letting your body know it's okay to do it, right? Because you've never done something like this. So then come up, and now open that left, drop that right, and now start to move at your own pace. And be gentle with yourself, especially in the beginning. It takes a little while for the body to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do this without breaking my ankles or damaging my knee, right? But a lot of it's just letting your body know that it's okay, that it's not going to get injured, and then that just takes a little bit of patience. Right, and now come on up. Here we're going to circle the arms, alternating which arm comes down first. Do try to cross them so that you're getting this full range of motion. Just so you know, we do salute. If you're ever late to class, you want to salute the teacher and get the attention of the teacher and have the teacher salute you before coming in. Same with if you need to leave, right? We're all adults. If you need to go to the bathroom, you need to do whatever. Just try to get the attention of your instructor. Give them a salute. They'll salute back. You know, you just make a little hand gesture. They know what you're doing. This way, keep going. Now, switch. Other direction. The reason for that is it just cuts down on some of the chaos of people coming and going, leaving. Oftentimes we're doing partner drills or this sort of thing, so it's nice for the instructor to have an idea of what the students are doing, right? So it's just a way to show respect. So if you need to leave, just let them know when you come in, let them know. All right, now let's do some push-ups. 10 to 20. If you want, you can do them on your fist or on your fingers. And do one more and come on up. All right. So now we're going to do some vein tendon. For those of you who know what that is, go over to your right. Those of you who don't or want a refresher, come on over with me. Okay. So maybe we can do like a semicircle, kind of around me. This way I can still see all of you. Right, you're going to need to give yourself enough space to do something like this. Right, so don't go too far away. Right, all right. So vein tendon, we're stretching the fascia, opening the joints, allowing for synovial fluid to come in. Right, but really tonifying the fascia. So we're going to be in horse riding stance, right, for the first 4. And we're going to do the same thing with the legs in the bottom part. The upper part will change with each one. But what you're going to do, that tailbone's tucked. Inhale, you're going to be relaxed. On the exhale, you're going to pull into your diaphragm. This is going to pull the tailbone kind of down and forward. The pelvic bone is going to come up, right? This naturally pushes the knees this way. So don't do this. This will put a lot of pressure on the ankles and the knees unnecessarily. And don't worry if you're like, oh, my legs don't move. This is common in the beginning, right? You're not used to stretching in this way. You're not going to get a lot of movement. If you are used to it, you'll notice they'll come out quite a bit, right? So that's on the exhale. That's what we're doing on the bottom. We're pulling in and then pulling the pelvic up, pushing the knees out. Really dropping the tailbone helps push the knees out, right? Any questions on that? Don't worry if you don't get it right away. This is Kung Fu. Everything takes a long time, right? Lifelong practice. Now with the hands and the upper body, you're going to make a fist, and you're going to have the thumbs right into your thighs. And on the inhale, we're always relaxed. On the exhale, you're going to try to put your knuckles into the ground, right? So you're opening up joint here, 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 a little bit in the knuckles, but not so much. You can turn the hand a little bit if you're feeling some tight tension here. This can help get more of a stretch, right? But you really want to go down. But you want to keep the chest up because we don't want to do this, right? I want to keep the chest up and the back straight, right? Any questions? No? Okay. So I'm going to make a face. If you want to make the face, we have a whole class on it. But very briefly, it's a frown. And then you're just tightening this and the fascia in your face and in your neck, right? And your eyes are staying open. Again, this is very brief. We do a whole master class. Master Ian does a whole master class on this. But if you see me making the face, this is what I'm doing. I'm stretching the fascia in my neck. And for those of you who are here for the demo, that's how I broke the chopstick. It's by strengthening the fascia here, right? So here we go. Inhale, relaxed. Exhale, pulling in from the diaphragm, pushing the knees out and pulling the hands down, getting the stretch. You want to keep the mouth closed. We don't want to do that. It's mildly open, but it's a frown first. But it's not this, right? We want to keep that tense, then relax on the inhale. Stretching on the exhale, pulling in here, getting the fascia in the legs, pulling the hands down, keeping the shoulders up. You can even push the head up. Keeping the chin tucked in, relaxing on the inhale. Relaxing on the inhale, stretching on the exhale. So this is squeezing out the essence. We're just going to do 5 because it's a teaching lesson, but typically you would do 9, right? And if you need to take a break in between, that's okay. At the beginning, it can be pretty intense to do 9 breaths in a row. But you'll build it up, and over no time, you can do all 45 breaths in a row. So next, rock spreads its wings. We're going to stay in this stance, and our hands are going to come out to the side. You want the palms shoulder height, and the elbows slightly forward. And here, we're going to push out the hands away from the body, while also pulling or pushing the elbows forward. So you get the stretch here, and in the hand as well, right? So we're not going to be able to fully do this because I'm pulling the elbows forward, and that's what keeps the hands bent, right? And we're doing the stretch on the exhale. Any questions? No? Okay. Inhale, exhale, pushing the hands away from the body, still pulling in from the diaphragm, pushing the knees out, relaxing on the inhale. Exhale, pushing those fingers away from your body, pulling the elbows forward, feeling that stretch, releasing. Yes?
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities on what to do here. Can you clarify what exactly we're doing here? Because there's a tucking, there's a pulling. What's the pulling? Is it abdominal only, or is it?
So you're just pulling in from your diaphragm. So you're just pulling it in. So that's pulling all the fascia into your belly. The tailbone's going down. The pelvic bone, which is here, not here, is coming up. So your hips are doing that. That's going to push your knees out. Here, you're pulling in the diaphragm because that's going to start pulling the fascia. So the fascia is totally connected from your toes to your fingers. Here's the middle. You're pulling here and you're stretching. So now you're working the lower body. Here, I'm pushing away, so I'm stretching all the fascia, but it's being initiated right here. So I'm pulling in from the fascia, right? So I'm pulling in my stomach, pulling in the diaphragm, sucking everything in. That's getting the stretch. And then you're also pushing away from it, so you're getting this counter stretch.
And the purpose of this is?
To tonify and strengthen the fascia. So by strengthening the fascia, keep going. Inhale, exhale. We'll do a couple more rounds and I'll give some explanation because it's good to have context. So the fascia is this connective tissue and the meridians run through it. So in order to get that springy power, it's the fascia. It's not the muscles, right? So we want to get that energy through. We need to tonify the fascia. Also, if you're going to take strikes, fascia will help you absorb energy from other people. It'll also keep your joints in alignment. It'll keep your structure in alignment. So there's all these health benefits, just aside from Kung Fu. But then it also increases the chi flow in the meridians, right? So there's a lot of benefits. I won't go into all of it, but these are kind of the major benefits of the fascia. It even wraps around your organs and keeps your organs in its shape, right? So next, I'm going to bring the hands down. This is arguably the easiest one to feel this kind of elasticity, which is what we're going for. So same thing with the lower body. You're going to pull in, pull the tailbone down, pelvic up. That's going to push the legs out. And then your hands are just to the side, and you're just pulling them down or pushing them down, however you want to describe that. And you're visualizing the fingers going into the earth, right? So inhaling, exhale, pulling those arms down, really pulling everything down, opening up the elbow, the shoulders, the wrist, the finger joints, and release. And you release, you might feel the shoulders kind of pop back up. That's the fascia. That's what you're looking for, right? So we're not tensing. I'm not flexing my muscles. I'm stretching. So that's the major difference. And it takes a little while to get used to that sensitivity, but I'm confident you all can do it, right? So here we go. Inhale. Exhale. Pushing the head up, pulling the hands down. Relax on the inhale. Again, you want that elasticness, that bouncing back feeling. If you don't feel it yet, that's okay, but this is what we're looking for. And you can kind of naturally get it just by pulling your hands down and then releasing. They're going to pop back up. That's your fascia, pulling it back into place, right? So you really want to try to use the mind to extend everything, right? This is 2 shoulders or 2 hands plummeting to the earth. And next, bring the hands up. This is the easiest way to get into it. And then just turn your wrists over without turning the elbows as much as possible. You want to keep the elbows facing down as much as possible. The hands don't need to be flat, but what do I mean? You see my left hand compared to my right hand, right? I turned the whole arm. Here, I just turned the wrist. So that's what you want to do, but you do want them to be straight. So we don't want this. We want straight. Yep. Turn it over. And here, you're going to keep the chest up, so the shoulders are going to stay in the socket. What do I mean by that? My shoulders can't go any farther forward unless I do this. Keep the chest up. The shoulders are not going to come out of the socket, but you're just going to try to send those hands to the opposite end of the room while keeping your back straight. Try not to lean back. If you're leaning back, push your hips back, and then retuck your tailbone. Right? So inhale, relaxed. Exhale. Release. Inhaling, relaxed. Really extend those hands out. Really get that stretch in all the muscle there. Should get quite a bit of movement. Last one, inhaling, relax. Exhale. If you've finished, go ahead and find a partner and start the partner routine. The grinding, that's the partner routine. I mean, it's not the some chien partner routine, but yeah, the grinding. Yeah, exactly. And the last one, it's the only one that you don't have to worry about the diaphragm, and you can open the feet. We're going to squat. And on the hands here, they're just for a counterweight. So it's just to balance us, right? So we're not trying to tense or get any stretch in the arms. It's all in the spine. So you really want to think about stretching the spine. You're going to go down, relaxed, and then on the inhale, you're going to press through the top of the head, chin really tucked in, pushing that head through the ceiling, really lengthening the spine. Right? Obviously, your head's not going to go through the ceiling, but if you have that intention, this will start to open you up energetically, and this will get the stretch. And we can do a little practice maybe at the end, depending on how much time we have, where you can see how using just your mind can help you to stretch. Right? So this is just the counterweight. Now, an important fact or feature to this is you want to keep the back vertical. So if you're like here, and then you start to do this, just stop here. If you can go all the way down, great. But if you're like this when you're down here, this isn't so good, because now, where's my energy going? It's going that way. And I want my energy to go up. right? So it's more important to keep the back straight than how low you go. Yeah? Any questions? No? Okay, let's give it a shot. So inhale, relaxed, going down. Exhale, coming up. Pushing that head up, pushing it up, lengthening that spine. Relax, going down. So I would say don't go down so low. Keep the feet flat. Yeah. So again, it's not about how far you go down. Don't worry about that. It's just about pulling that spine apart. Okay, so those are the 5 movements. Feel free to, on Tuesday, to go through it again. It's good to do it a few times, get a couple different teachers' perspectives. They might share some information I didn't. They might share it in a way that clicks with you, right? This practice has, this is true of pretty much everything here, but this one I've noticed is quite a bit. Pretty much everyone does it wrong in the beginning. And then after you do it a few times and you get used to it, then things start to click and you start to realize that you're getting more of a stretch and less of a flex. Most people flex in the beginning. They're not really getting it right. And it will reveal more and more to you as you do it. You know, for me, it took a long time for my hips to open and my legs to actually go this way. They used to just always be like this. So it takes time, depending on where your body's at, right? Okay? Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
For the legs,
Yes.
fascia of the legs, I think we pretty much covered upper body, or maybe I missed the part.
So the legs are happening when you're tucking the tailbone and pulling up the pelvic bone, and the knees are going here. Now you're getting all that fascia right here. You're getting all the fascia in the legs. It's hard to get it in the legs at first. It's hard. But the idea is the knees are getting pushed out, not coming forward, but getting pushed out.
I was just doing horse stance.
Yeah, and that will create, so you want to be in the horse stance, and then as you tuck that tailbone down and bring the pelvic bone up, this pushes the knees this way. It takes a little while to get that all to work together. But that's the idea. That's how you work the fascia in the legs in this practice.
When you're in the horse stance, tense the glutes.
No.
Kick it in or just leave it relaxed.
Yeah, more relaxed.
And what about on the exhale when we're extending?
Yeah, again, you don't want to flex. You want to stretch. So that includes the glutes, everything, right? Like, I don't want to do this. I want to do that, right? This, I'm just flexing everything. I'm not doing anything that's going to help my fascia really here. Here, I'm helping my fascia. I'm not flexed. If you touch me, I'm soft, right? But if you touch yourself and you're like, oh yeah, that's pretty solid, you're flexing, you're not stretching.
So visualization of what we're doing is very important.
Yes, it is very important. It makes me, since I have a big group of you, we're going to do this. So put your hands together. You guys will have to do the grinding next week, or on Tuesday. You'll be okay. It'll be okay. This is worth it. So make sure that your palms are lined up, and you're going to bring that right hand down. Now keep the palms lined up. At the end of this, you're going to bring the fingers back up. Don't try to match the fingers. Keep the palms attached, right? If you just adjust the fingers, you're going to miss the whole point of this practice, right? So bring in that right hand. Now visualize and look at your left hand. Inhale, relax. On the exhale, stretch your fingers. Stretch the joints in your fingers, just in the left hand. Really lengthen them. Really lengthen it. Relax on the inhale. On the exhale, stretch. Stretch them, really stretch them. And then relax on the inhale. We'll do one more. And then stretch, really stretch those fingers, stretch them up. Now, looking at your hands, making sure that the palms stay connected where they were. Just let the fingers come up. Right? Now, if you look at your fingers, most likely, now we did just do the whole practice, so it's a little bit challenging because we did just do a lot of opening. If you do this in the beginning, it's a little bit more, but you can see the difference in the length. It's not that one hand is suddenly longer than the other, but because you mentally and intentionally stretched and opened up those joints, they're longer, right? If you keep doing it, they're not going to get like this long, right? And then you could do the other side and it would balance it out. But so this is what we're thinking about with our visualization. If you're doing that with your spine and really visualizing pulling it apart and your head going through, you're going to lengthen it a lot more. If you just did this and then did this and went back, you're not going to get any shift. But our intention is what caused that, right? You really put your intention into opening and lengthening. So the mind is very powerful, right? We all know this. Okay. Do you need a partner? Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's fine. Yes. How many of you know some chien? Or even know what I'm talking about when I say some chien? This. Does this look familiar? Yeah. Okay, give me a volunteer. I'm just gonna show you the grinding, but we're not gonna practice it. Just so you have aware. Can I just get a volunteer? Thank you. So turn this way. So, right foot forward, right? Yeah, not the best partnering up, but that's okay. Yeah, bring your hand up. So, for the grinding exercise, what happens is it's pushing, move to the side. Do you know? No. You don't know this at all? Okay. So push towards the heart, and then I'm going to use my body, and I'm going to turn, and I'm going to push towards their heart, and now you're going to turn like a block. Yep. And so she's pushing, and I'm offering up resistance. She needs to push a little harder. Right, there we go. Right? So this is one sequence, and then you'd go to the other side. So you're pushing towards the person's heart. You do it 9 times. And then you'd go to the other side. No. Thumb to thumb, and now you're going to make a little half circle and come around. And this is going to teach you how to get the blocks and how to use, the point of this is to use your whole body, again, working with the fascia. You don't have to intentionally think about it, but if you're using the whole body as one unit, you're using the fascia. Right? So I come up, she's going to offer resistance, and I'm making a full circle. So what am I working on here? Now she's going to go. She's working on blocks and another block. So you don't know them yet, but this is more or less an upper block, and then this is a lower crane, right? And you're coming around. Luckily, Tuesday morning, you're going to go over a lot of these, so that when you do this Tuesday midday, you're going to get it. And then you'd go to the other side. And then we do one with the pinky. So you do the thumb, the pinky, same idea, make a half circle, and then go over it. And then you go around. And then you make a circle going around. I offer up some resistance. Here again, I want to use my hips, right? I'm not just trying to use my arm. I'm using my whole body. I'm using my hips, right? She's coming here. Use your hips. Yes. Right? You can hear them pop. But this is what we want to teach ourselves, how to use our whole body, right? If it's just our arm, your arm's not going to be that great against someone who's stronger than you, but your whole body is going to be stronger than their arm, right? So that was a very brief, salute your partner anytime you're done. Very brief, just so you have some context, but I don't have enough time to go over all of it because I want to work on some chien with you guys, okay? So, yeah. I mean, you can keep going. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine with me. I don't care. Yeah, do some practice. So, some chien. The basics of some chien. you're going to open your foot and you're gonna stance. Right, so this is different than the bow and arrow stance and different than, obviously, the horse riding stance. So this is a walking stance. And what I'm looking for, right, bow and arrow, I'm like this. Walking, my heel and my toe are in a line with each other. Is this good? And my weight is 60% on the back and 40% on the front. So opposite of the bow and arrow, right? The bow and arrow, I'm like this. I got 60% here, 40 here. Here, I'm back here. And this is what we use in our tiger crane, right? So this is our fighting art. And the reason that you want, there's several reasons, but one of the reasons you want the weight on the back is so that if I need to deliver a kick or a block, I don't need to shift the weight back and then come back, right? That's going to take way too long. If my 60% is here, I can easily come up, right? I can easily come up with a kick, whatever I need. So we keep the weight there, 60% on the back. Again, you want the hips squared, right? So once again, let's go through that. We're in our horse riding stance. We open up the foot, step through, close that foot, and now we're in a walking stance, ideally with the right foot, right? And our hips are facing forward. And now, I'm going to do the first really slow. So you're going to inhale and then drive out the hands. Pull in the fingers, then pull the shoulders back and down. And as you pull them down, rotate around the elbows. Keep the elbows in front of you. So don't bring them back like this. Keep them in front of your chest, right? And you're trying to bring this pinky this way, this little finger, right? This is as mobile as my wrists are. So this is all I'm going to be able to do. But you're rolling the wrist up and out. And you're attempting to make a V with your hands here, right? And you want to keep them below. Now we're getting a stretch here in the fascia, but I'm not tensing. If you're tensing, relax, right? But we are getting a stretch here. And then we would have held our breath that whole time, and then now you would release your breath. Right? Open up that right foot, step through, bring the hand back down. Inhale, shoot out the hands, pull them in, the fingers, pull back, down, rotating around those elbows and getting that stretch. Pulling in from the diaphragm, just like you did in the last practice, and then you just release it. You don't have to worry about making a noise. It's not about the noise. We do want the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Pretty much standard here. Everything we do, tongue on the roof of the mouth. Then we're going to take one more step forward. Shoot it out. Pull the fingers in, pull the shoulders back, pull them down. As you pull them down, you rotate around the elbows, getting that stretch right here. Really rotating in. Yep. Now everyone's going to look a little different depending on their flexibility, right? And now, could I get my elbows in more? I could, but it would require me collapsing my chest. I want to keep my chest up. We want to keep this inflated, right? Once you're done with the grinding, go ahead and start working on your freehand routines, right? Whether it's some chien or tepe, okay? So now we've taken 3 steps forward. Now we're going to take 3 steps back. So again, stepping back to that toe in line with the heel. You want to go wide. If you go straight back, you suddenly have a very narrow stance. So you want to go wide. And when that toe gets to 1 o'clock, it's pretty much in the right spot. Right? So, same thing. Inhale. Now here we really, I'm going to kind of add to it. Yep. You want to be as relaxed as possible. And you want to just send those fingers to the other side of the world. Like into that tree, into the mountains, like way up the hill. You want to send it as far as you can while being relaxed as possible, right? So inhale. Now pull in, pull back, pull down, rotate around, pulling in from the diaphragm. When you can no longer hold it, you release. Step back, turn that front foot in. Pull back, pull down. And one more. Okay, and now you take 3 steps forward. So this is the main core of this practice. And it's teaching us springy power. You can master this, you can master 90% of the tiger crane art. Like there's a lot more routines. They just teach you how to get springy power and move chi in different directions. The core is right here, right? So it's high level, honestly. In some schools, they teach this when you are very high up, right? But we teach it here as our core because everything's around this. But it's teaching you the springy power. So the things to really pay attention to. Inhale, hold it.